Now, I consider myself a tennis nerd. I don't just watch tennis and play tennis. I spend hours analysing it, analysing my own game, reading upon tennis history, and staring at stats all day long. However, I have only become this far a nerd in the sport within the last few years. This means there are a lot of matches I have to catch up on. I may know the significance, the outcome, and the hot shots, but I still want to experience watching some of the biggest matches. Because of this, I'm trialling a new video, a commentary reaction type video, analysing and reacting to a match as I watch it, and at the end giving my thoughts and overview. Miami is just about wrapping up. I've just finished watching the semi-final between RBA and Sinner, and now I'm ready for possibly one of the most significant matches to have ever been played. Not necessarily because it was epic, but because it was the beginning. The beginning of one of the greatest rivalries to grace our TV screens. Roger Federer vs Rafael Nadal, Miami Round 3, 2004. To set the scene, it was the final match on day 5 of the tournament. Roger Federer, world number 1, was to face number 34, seeded 32, Rafa Nadal. Federer was having a great season, winning his second Grand Slam title in Australia, losing in the quarters of Rotterdam to Henman, winning Dubai, and also Indian Wells. Meanwhile, Rafa was just 17. He'd won his first match versus a top 5 player the year before, facing his childhood hero, Carlos Moya. Looking at Rafa here and comparing him to now, his legs look like fully developed already. They're so chunky compared to his arms. Whilst on the topic of comparison, just watching these guys' strokes, you really appreciate not just these two, but Djokovic also, how they've mastered their own games, how smooth and perfected their strokes are, movement and tactics also. We're a couple games in now. I haven't noticed the Rafa grunt yet. It's all very silent at the moment.
Of course, many people think that if he bothered to play junior events, this lad here, he would be outstanding to the best junior in the world. Well, he is on the rankings. And Federer, of course, himself a former world #1 junior, that in 1998.
I talked a little about Roger's game development in the serve and volley video months ago, how at Wimbledon his, I think, serve and volley percentage was quite high at his 2003 win, but decreased to like 3% or something in 2012, but it was back on the rise by 2015. I think it's apparent here also, just looking at the beginning of this set, he's looking to come forward quite often, something he definitely tries to do these days too. You can use Federer as a great example of this data. During his first Wimbledon title in 2003, he served and volleyed 50% of the time. In 2006, it was about 5%, and dropping to 3.5 in 2011. However, it rose in 2015 to 22%. He's liking that serve down the tee at the moment.
If anybody at home wants to learn how to serve, just watch this man effortlessly. And there was a period of time where people were saying, can he ever win?
Do you know, I think it's that he is so talented and had so much choice that it frustrated him when he was unable to put it all to good use. I mean, he's had to go through the learning process like everybody. So, Doug, is there a realistic chance of Nadal beating Federer today?
I don't believe so. I don't think it's realistic.
Then I think it will be.
Oh, it's such an explosive start to the match already. Definitely a glimpse into the future of the sport, and this head-to-head as well.
In fact, and it happens to all of us at some time or other. They travel so
They
much.
really have improved the technology, haven't they? Like, that looks rough, even for back then, I suppose, 2004. But I wouldn't trust that thing to make a call on a shot I hit mid-court. About 14 minutes in, and we have our first break point. Wait, was that the first Rafa grunt? Rafa's foot and leg speed is phenomenal. I know he's fast, I've seen his speed, but young Rafa is something else. It's incredible. His defense with this speed rivals Djokovic for sure. Fed seems to be struggling at the net a little. He's tried it quite a bit, but I think Rafa's topspin is just making it too difficult. It's not even that sometimes, his feel is just not there at the moment.
But Federer playing a bit lax. We've seen him hit the net 5 times, and he's been ineffective all 5 times. That's highly unlike the type of style we're used to seeing him play with. He's got to be considered one of the top volleyers in the world.
Absolutely. To think when I interviewed him as the #1 junior in the world, he said he was frightened of volleying. He hadn't learnt it then, but he has since.
Again, just amazes me the progression and constant development these guys go through. Federer went from being scared to volley to being one of the best on the tour to being more of a baseliner, and now back to trying to get to the net more the last 5 years or so. For some reason, it feels like neither player has much of a game plan. Now, of course, it's their first meeting. Some of that will be down to feeling the opponent out, figuring out what their strengths and weaknesses are, seeing how they respond to certain things. Federer is probably a little annoyed his volleying isn't working and is proving ineffective versus Rafa's forehand, but on Rafa's end, I haven't even noticed much bullying of Federer's backhand just yet.
You guys are allowed to go inside the locker room?
Ha! He did the thing. He did it. That's the first wedgie I've seen him sort out. Speaking of, I haven't noticed much faffing about before serving on Rafa's end. His serving is incredible at the moment. 100% first serves won, 58% for Federer. They're both starting to try and draw each other outside the court now, using quite drastic angles.
Surprise element there.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
I can do anything better than you.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
That was Federer's first ground stroke winner. That is ridiculous. Nadal is just not allowing for Fed to relax and find that flow at all.
Winner off the racket of Federer.
Once again, not successful at the net, just awful placement. 0-6 now. How much topspin these guys are able to create is insane, just with a flick of the wrist.
Oh, yes.
Okay, that was much better.
Consolidation attempted forcefully.
Woohoo! Lovely chip pass from Federer. Ah, the grunts have arrived with a beautiful drop shot with a round of applause from Fed. Yeah, Federer has definitely retired the net rushing for now, especially because Rafa is just not allowing it either. Federer is on the defense most of the time, to be honest. Double fault. Starting to feel the pressure now, Fed. He seems to be missing everything by literally a whisker.
And there it is. The first set belongs to the Spaniard.
And Rafa wins the first set 6-3, only 34 minutes or so into the match. Interestingly, they both have the same winners and unforced errors. It felt like Rafa was doing much better. The difference has definitely come in the serving for sure. Rafa was barely missing his first serve. Second a little lower, but when you're barely playing your second, it doesn't really matter. There's the first Rafa tick I've properly noticed, a leg bouncing at the changeover. I've just gone back to collect the clips for the video, and I just noticed his bottles as well. Whilst not diagonal to each other, the labels are facing the core, and he's very careful with it. Even at 17, he was so careful about it all.
His forehand is feared by all. He's the only player to win 3 majors 3 times. He's definitely the man to beat. His name is Roger Federer. He's won 10 majors and counting. But my name is Tiger Woods. I have 12 majors and counting. So keep up, buddy.
See, Roger's just looking as calm as ever. He had maybe one moment where he looked a little frustrated, and that's it. The power in that forehand already is insane. Rafa's having some great success pouncing on Federer's defensive slice. He's not afraid to come to the net and finish it off.
Now, young man, just remember who you're playing.
Okay, so apparently they played doubles the week before this. I vaguely remember seeing a comment by, I think, Federer or someone from his team talking about Rafa after that match.
Well, the world number 1 is in trouble, and we'll see just how he responds.
That's just classic Fed right there. This is why they're dangerous. Even at their worst, the big 3 always can do something special. You can never count any of them out of a match until the last point has been won. I've never seen that before in a match. I've seen balls go through the handle of rackets. I've even seen Rafa fail a serve so badly the ball hits his side. But not this. Merker literally has not aged a single day. Any short ball Rafa is punishing right now, and there's a lot of talk on the heaviness of Rafa's ball by the commentators. It seems Rafa's going short to Fed's backhand the majority of the time upon return. He's not being aggressive, he's starting the rally off pretty safe, but keeping it on the weaker side to allow himself into the rally and set off being more aggressive from there. He was up 40 love. Having a weaker backhand is okay if you can defend with a good forehand and other strengths like your serve, but Fed is making too many errors on that forehand right now, and his serving isn't a strength right now either.
What he's going to do.
What was that look? Why did that make me laugh so much for like 10 minutes straight? Too short. Too short. Every time. And a brilliant shot on the line to lead to Rafa's win. Wow. 1 hour, 9 minutes. Rafa absolutely dominating on serve and pushing Federer onto the back foot over and over again. 0 break points for Feds. That's ridiculous. Federer's whole thing is getting loads of break points and not converting them. He couldn't even manage that today. It seemed Federer tried some net play but soon realised this was going to be a baseline grind, but he couldn't dominate at the back either. Meanwhile, Rafa managed both. Weirdly, Federer just didn't seem too bothered. Maybe one moment of frustration, I think on a missed smash. No, he made the smash, didn't he? I think he kind of put a bit of anger into that smash. I can't remember. I really enjoyed this match though. Federer wasn't serving great. He wasn't the most consistent, but it was seeing the difference in development they've both made. Rafa the clear highlight of the match, some great hot shots in there. The crowd and the atmosphere seemed really nice as well. Maybe it's just the poor on-court mics compared to now, but I really enjoy a soft murmur in the background of matches. I hate complete silence. I wish white crowd noise was put through the speakers of the slams for sure. There wasn't really much else contained within the match. Rafa served well, Roger didn't. No aggro, no anger. Rafa hit some great hot shots, had great energy on the court. Not much else special about it, other than who was playing and the fact it was a massive upset. Anyway, if you enjoy this type of video, tell me down below, like the video, subscribe, tell me what matches you want me to watch next, and before I forget, follow on Twitter at FootvolleyPod, subscribe to my other channel, and if you want to compete with me in draw challenges for both ATP and WTA, all links are in the description.